right. In the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, it is Impact, not changing from his build. And in the top left, as the red Zerg, he is Denver. His match history was off. There's no chance to see the build orders. So Impact feels safe to do it again. Denver has no idea what he was planning on doing last game, and he still has no idea what he's planning to do this game until he sees that Overlord, unless that Overlord gets to the natural base or he sees the Lings, that is. So he's taking his own base. I mean, this is expected. He's going to play a macro game. He had no thoughts of aggression of his own, which puts him in a potentially difficult position. There's like pros and cons, believe it or not, to getting a macro-oriented build here.
Okay, how's this, by the way? Is this any better?
I guess so. Probably have to continue casting.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Just let me know if you hear it so I can fiddle and fix.
Yeah, this isn't the greediest that he could do. He didn't add a bunch of drones before adding that gas, or adding the pool actually, but it is still that macro first I was talking about. It's like, in a way, it can actually help out. You get that second queen basically on time with each other, which is kind of a nice benefit. If you go for a pool first, they're a little more staggered. And then, of course, you can try and get a spine crawler up in the natural base, but that doesn't usually work out. And if things go badly, but not quite badly enough, you still have a chance to win because you have another hatchery. But we'll see how this goes. Impact did fully commit to speed here, but no Bane. Okay, he's going to make a Baneling nest. Keeping most of those guys in gas.
I find this really interesting because, well, Impact is doing his build, obviously. Denver's actually really good at these scrappy early game engagements. Granted, versus Protoss is what we've seen a lot of, but I think he could do it here, man.
Well, A-Lings are on the way. Drones are being pulled. He wants to try and save that hatchery, but the queens are going to be popping out for a long time. Lings pop out to try and help the drones, and so far, so good. Only one drone has been lost. A lot of them are very weak, though, and they're instantly popped up the second one.
So I just bring this up, too, because I had to go confirm the score. I couldn't remember if it was 3-1 or 3-0, but quick reminder that this is actually a rematch of the qualifier group where Denver 3-0'd Impact. And there was an equally early pull in that series, too. So far, so good. With the queens out, this is looking very holdable. Being a hatchery up is the advantage. Honestly, not that many drones for now, so Impact's still got a little wiggle room to make something done with these banelings. But, I mean, honestly, this is looking good for Denver.
Yeah, it can all kind of turn on its head really quickly, but the spine crawler even making its way down to plan itself is looking like a very stable hold. As long as there's any focus fire whatsoever on the banelings, this should be enough. Unfortunately, Lings... Oh, that was awkward. There probably should have been a better baneling hit on Denver's Lings than there was, but it doesn't really matter about killing the Lings so much as you really want to get some damage, any damage on the spine crawler and queens, but if you only get this much, I mean, that's an easy transfuse. Second round's going to come in here, but it's not looking any stronger. It's
like that one co-op mission with the Void Shards. You got that guy's, the clock's ticking.
It really
Impact
is.
really has to do this with this attack. There's not going to really be a follow-up. There's not enough. I guess on the odd chance there's Bailey squeezed between the spine crawler and the hatchery, maybe between killing both those things, some Lings, like he could do enough damage to equalize this. The drone count, the drone lead, not as big of a deal as it might look, but looks like he's going to go for what I described. Not quite going to be good enough. Takes out the spine crawler. Queens are left without any fodder, though. That one queen is actually in a great spot at the bottom of the ramp, really reducing that surface area. There's those transfuses. They got to focus hard on the banelings, though.
Yeah, well, if they do that, then the splash affects them. The transfuse isn't quite ready on that second queen. 2 more seconds and it would have been ready. It is now to help out this one queen, I suppose. Not a lot of Lings are left over for Impact, however, and he's rallying from his own main base. Can take him quite a while. Denver might be able to win with the Fair's advantage, but not having any more queens is pretty bad.
Drone pulls can deal with the amount of Lings that are left over. The downside for Denver, though, is he's really just slugging along here. He doesn't have speed. He's relying on banelings. I don't think he can defend this hatchery, and Impact killing this hatchery might be enough to actually bring him back to this game. Yeah,
Denver also went for banelings instead of speed and still doesn't really want to afford speed. It's a big investment of minerals, even though he has the gas. The hatchery,
though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guaranteed kill at this point. So just try and end the game for real.
I gotta keep those banelings out of the mineral lines. Drones on that hold position's a really nice move. Denies the baneling hit that Impact wanted so badly. But oh, he pulls a little bit late. Gets some good splash damage. Impact still sitting here with these Zerglings. One more baneling left for Denver to try and clean up with this mess.
Oh, not focus firing quite right. Oh, but Denver wastes that baneling. He doesn't have any more Lings to protect his now weak drones, and that's gonna be game.
I think that's it, yeah. Hatchery did go down. Queen pops. Drone counts at 10 minus. GG.
All right, we're going into game number 4. Impact took the lead at a 2-1 last game, going into Ascension to Ire for what could be the last EVZ.
I wholly and entirely believe that Denver has it in him to bring this to game 5. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Folks, he has quickly become one of my favorite Zerg players. I'm rooting for him, absolutely. In the top left, on his last life in the Ting Open, it's the Red Zerg, Denver. Playing for Romantic Gaming.
In the bottom right, as the Blue Zerg, oh, it is Impact. He won the first game of the day by doing an early pool and is looking to do something similar. Now, that very first game of the day, he did go pool, then gas. This time, gas, then pool, so a lot faster on one of the other, Speed or Banelings. Probably Speed.
Also, guys, just while this kicks off, because this will take a moment, we should probably do a little bit of love to the sponsors of the tournament. Also, it's kind of required of us to do so. So just quick mention that if you guys are a U.S. resident, you're watching Twitch on Wi-Fi all day, and you don't go out of your house much, then Ting might just be perfect for you. To pay you $25 or less each month on your phone bill. Basically, you can try it for a month for free by going to bttb.ting.com, claiming that, I guess, credit or whatever you want to call it, and giving it a shot. They sponsored this tournament for 4 seasons running, and gosh darn it, I want a 5th.
Ooh. Well, a 5th would be awesome. This is turning into the Super All-In, which is also awesome. Denver almost held last time. Almost. But the timing of this is going to be a little bit different. As I said, like the speed going to be a little bit faster. Baneliness still going to accompany, but he could play this a little bit differently. First game, the order a little bit different, sure. But also the way that he chose to utilize it, you know? He didn't wait for speed. He didn't sneak off 2 lanes to the side, which I'm not doing again here, but he just attacked, showed it to the Overlord and attacked the hatchery, and that was kind of it. And then took a while for speed to finish, too, so Denver could pull the drones and try and battle it out. Speed will be finishing as Impact goes basically on top of the hatchery. Oh, he didn't actually dodge out that Overlord. Not well enough. Tried really hard to, but did not.
Well, that's where we're going to see the ceasing of drones, perhaps. Queen's on the way, though, and speed. I think what really sucked was, was it the first game of the day? There was no speed for Denver. Made it a really tough fight. The fact that he will actually eventually get speed this game means it's a lot more doable.
What? He knows it's all in. Why is he sending that drone out? Okay.
Maybe he was hoping to bait blings, even for a few seconds, buy time, or maybe he really didn't see it coming. I don't know. He did start the spine crawler. The queen goes down, not in a position to fight. Uh-oh. Denver, no, not like this.
This is looking real bad.
He's up 7 drones, guys. He's up hatcheries. Like, he still has wiggle room to die, so to speak.
He might have also been searching for banelings with that drone, which doesn't matter. The banelings were coming, just not from that direction.
This is actually looking pretty good. He's got those spine crawlers finishing up. Well, I take that back as the queen dies as I say that. He spreads out the drones to try and keep them alive. The spine crawler is going to die. No banelings for Denver. This is looking pretty rough.
This looks like game over as the lings do pop out. They die instantly. And Impact is continuing to reinforce. Even drone drilling's not going to be able to save him as he goes down to 4, 3, 1 drone. That's a game.
Drone is the one that ran away, by the way. That's the only drone that lived. You coward! GG.
A little bit trickier, but perhaps with a greater reward, as he even stacked up a couple oracles, which Neeb just barely missed on scouting.
Ooh, this is going to be rough. The adepts can certainly trade up for a bit, but the stalkers will make sure this doesn't get too out of hand. But I don't know. Does Neeb have? We're going to see the power of the shield battery here. Can the shield battery stop the oracles?
If they're both activated on the same probe, no. But if they're split, yes. I think we found that out last PvP we did.
Oh, kind of like what we just saw there. Saved one of the probes, but running away from the shield battery towards the army. Not a terrible idea, but then nothing to really protect the probes that are transferring. 8 go down, and Neeb now down 5 workers.
Thank you for gifting that sub, Diet Soda.
Diet Soda. Good to see you, man. Oh, more probes going down, though. Neeb transferring back, and again, nowhere close to the shield battery, so 16 workers now killed. This is pretty devastating.
Actually.
GG. Spawning here in the top left side of the map. It's the red Protoss, DNS, up 1-0.
In the bottom right is the yellow Protoss. He is Ting's Neeb.
Also, Kira1595 was the second person gifted the sub. 2 to go. So keep those hashtag Team Jesse's rolling. Of course, like I said, hit the follow button, guys. We're at 99,935. Ooh. Oh, Jesse gifted a sub to Mr. D-Roy. Mr. D-Roy is actually one of my favorite new friends I've made over in Fastfeast stream. So good guy. And he likes bad jokes. Or pretends not to.
He does like bad jokes or doesn't?
I think he does, and he pretends not to.
Oh, gotcha. That was confusing. Okay, so not a great start for Neeb. But just he's actually not had some like all great games in the Ting season 4. A lot of his victories, eventual victories, 3-2s, 3-1s, whatever, have come off the back of some of really questionable games. Like his series versus Solar, there was 2 games that brought him back to a 2-2, and I was like, oh God, is he actually going to lose? Reverse kill. There was games against Hellraiser as well, as I brought that up. That was a Corsair Cup, but still, where it did look like he was going to lose in a PvP, and then he brought it back. So point is, he's kind of become like a comeback, not a comeback champion, like a last second. No, actually, I don't think it's a good way to put this. He always brings it out at the end. He might lose 4 games after winning 4 games, but he'll win that ace match. So if you can think of a good descriptor, then let me know in chat. But he's been able to bring it to this point, to the grand finals. So some questionable starts, and the fact that was a questionable start, instantly losing game 1, in some ways is an okay start. You just kind of say, okay, the Oracles did their thing, and then I died. Okay, GG. It's not that much to worry about.
By the way, just some sick community hype here. I was checking Team Liquid just now. The WESG stream is going on. Of course, they're in their semifinals and finals today, I believe. They're sitting at about 9.6k viewers at the time of me reading this. We're sitting here at 3. Yo, it's been a long time since you've had 2 big streams of StarCraft go head-to-head like this, but also it's just cool to see both streams are doing really well. That's a good sign for StarCraft. Because most of the time it's like, oh, there's base trade with like 10k viewers, and the next highest stream is like 1k viewers.
Oh, that's a good point. So we have DNS proxying a pylon after his Nexus was delayed. People say that the correct word for Neeb would be clutch, and yeah, I guess that does summarize it better than any other word I was thinking of. But whether he starts bad or starts good, like he still almost loses the series, and DNS is looking to get a quick 2-0 on the board. If he could actually gain a lot of momentum, certainly that's how Neeb has fallen in the past. Just, spirals down and further down until he just ends up losing even without getting a victory of his own. Bit of an old Neeb, though. He's really improved in the last year with that type of mentality. But DNS still looking for perhaps another easy victory with a proxy gateway. Doesn't seem devastating, but this puts that fast warp into effect, and they can easily snowball if Neeb isn't predicting this, and he has no shield battery at the front, which is something he really needs against it.
Yeah, shield battery has been the one thing I don't think Neeb's ever lacked on. I mean, we saw that with that Hellraiser series. We know Neeb can take this to the late game most of the time, but maybe DNS just did his homework, man, and he found all the little weak spots in Neeb, the perfect builds to go for. I mean, this is brutal. This is so many stalkers. Like,
yeah.
I actually don't know that Neeb can do anything about this, frankly. Even with the shield battery, he's just outnumbered more than 2-1. GG.
Yep.
Oh. In the top left, it's the blue Protoss, Ting's Neeb.
In the bottom right has the red Protoss. It is DNS. Surprise 4-1.
Well, we are coming to what is hopefully not, but potentially the end of the stream with this best of 9 being the grand finals and all. I do want to remind everybody that we have a shotgun week of Corsair Cups coming up. So if you guys are StarCraft fans, for Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we've got 3 European tournaments this week. And then, of course, Tuesday is the Elima League, as always. So if you've just joined us from the front page, or maybe you've just found us for the first time for whatever reason, make sure you do hit the follow buttons, or at least keep up with the events if you're going to troll us with an unfollow. That way you don't miss out on anything, because for, again, 4 more days, every day we're going to be live with some StarCraft 2, and it's going to be high-quality players awesome streaming, good times, and I want you all to make sure you join us for it.
So another Probe Scout versus Probe Scout. DNS has gotten a couple of these games due to some tricky follow-ups to what Neeb assumes. Neeb gets the Scout, leaves, assumes the Nexus goes down, assumes that it's a, you know, gateway or a Stargate put before it or something like that, and then either guesses wrong or just has things out of position. DNS, as I said, I don't know if he can keep getting those tricks done, and the last couple games have been just full-on macro. Expect similar things to happen here. Neeb goes for a Robo first.
Robo could lead into disruptors, I'm saying here with like question mark. Like I really like what he did last game. But well,
what?
This is some kind of interesting mind games coming up, but Neeb's gonna scout this with that probe going back to the main.
Well, that's why he canceled the gateway. So he still sees a suspicious lack of X tech. I mean, obviously you gotta throw down something. So that might still have him wonder. Oh yeah, he knows. He's like, something's off. He's trying to scout, or maybe. No, that's a
This
scouting.
might just be a normal stalker attack, to be honest.
Usually you'd go down this way, but yeah, it's looking like he's just going to try and meet the stalkers of DNS. This is still one way to do well against a push like this, because you already are dealing damage. You don't get that same snowball effect where every single stalker of all stalkers warped in have full health, but he actually sees them and retreats.
Keep getting all these Twitter notifications of somebody who tweeted that they were cheering for Jesse over Rifkin. Thank you for tagging me in that tweet.
You're welcome.
I get to watch all my friends favorite your...
Maybe they're favoring it because they know you won and they're proud of you, and they're like, yeah, that Zymergup sucks. She called it wrong.
Yeah, that's what I do. I favorite tweets that I hate and disagree with all the time.
No, you favorite tweets though that are cheeky, right? They're like, you know, someone did end up losing after everyone was like, no, they're going 100%. You favorite them because they're like, you know what you're doing. People do that all the time. All the time.
I hate you.
They do. I've seen, like, because Twitter has the whole, like, this person liked this feature now, I get to see people's private likes, and I can really judge them off of it.
I like a lot of lewd pictures, I'm not gonna lie, and I know people see that all the time, and I'm just not caring at this point.
No, I see more like people like favoriting Trump tweets, right? Because they're funny. But right, continuing on.
Continuing on, the Stargate, of course, never actually got scouted, and Neeb is pushing out. He's got the Warp Prism in tow. This is gonna be really dangerous. There's no time to recall. He's not gonna get back in time to stop this. He could go full bore and potentially kill DNS at home, but the likelihood of that's so low with 3 shield batteries set up on the front lines. So here comes the Oracles to the main base of Neeb. Neeb's still pushing, but these Oracles are going to fry so many probes. And Neeb's already down a significant amount.
He expected this. He's built 3 shield batteries while he desperately tries to get to his own Robo.
No!
Shield batteries. I don't know if they're this good.
Immortals are a lot of damage, yeah. The shield batteries are trying to heal through it. They're actually doing a pretty damn good job. We'll give them that much. Maybe Warp Prism Micro is what it's going to take. He keeps those sentries alive!
Another Guardian Shield is available, and that might just be the kicker. 3 shield batteries done and gone. The Oracles could try and come back to help out. There's only so many Stalkers left over. They could definitely take out the Guardian Shield sentries, but just going to wait a second here. He's collecting himself, get a couple of Zealots now, too.
Okay, the Immortals have to be micro through this Warp Prism. They're out of barriers. They've been triggered. The damage from the Stalkers is pretty good. Now DNS's own Immortals are coming out. GG!
Oh, dang.